Hey, so what are we gonna talk about today?
Today I think we have to talk about food. Real food, whole foods, plants, and their life-saving, crazy benefits like anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, anti-aging properties.
This moment in time, gotta get my life straight. Yeah, that be my current mind state.
A very interesting study on anti-inflammatory food was done by the Lund University Food for Health Science Center, where the researchers composed a diet of anti-inflammatory meals with 5 basic principles: fiber-rich plants, omega-3s, reduced sugar and low GI glycemic index, probiotics and good bacteria, and beta-glucan, and compared it to a diet according to Nordic nutritional recommendations. The anti-inflammatory diet resulted in only 4 weeks, for example, in almost pharmacological effects on bad LDL cholesterol that lowered 33% and lowered inflammation markers, and the researchers were amazed. And now we're starting the journey on food with the first principle: whole foods and plants.
Okay, so if we talk about food, everybody's probably a little tired of talking about vegetables and eat your greens and your plant-based diets and stuff like that. But why do you think we decided to go there too?
Yeah. Somehow real food, whole foods and plants are like a sure shot and something that research is pretty sure and convinced about its benefits. Of course, not the only thing in good nutrition, but we're starting the search with the category of food from this angle. The problem with our food is that it has become so heavily processed. So we become from whole, real, wholesome food into an era of heavily processed food. And what happens with that kind of food is that it changes our digestion. For example, processing often or can mean taking out fiber and adding starch and sugar instead. And food also seems to play like a big role for our identity in our culture. Am I vegan? Am I this or that? And we're actually like nothing, right? One of our favorite pods and authors, the Food Pharmacy. I loved how they refer to themselves as vi är ingenting, we are nothing. Like we're just trying to eat and find food that is good for us, and of course also at the same time consider the environmental impact of it. But even though we want to identify ourselves with all of these things, we still have the biology. It's not same in all of us. We can't say that same food is good for everyone, right? Or the research doesn't suggest that, but we have a pretty similar biology. And therefore, the nutrients and the food acts in a certain way in our body. And we of course want to benefit from the good actions that it can provide for us.
Okay, so if you look a little bit deeper to the real foods and plants, I think we all heard about you can get a lot of vitamins from it.
The vitamin talk.
Yeah, and one of the newest things I learned that, for example, from broccoli or kale, you can get a lot of calcium. But what else is there?
If we think about a plant or a vegetable, it's a hugely complex and multiple thing that contains a lot of different nutrients. But for example, if we only take a look at phytochemicals and polyphenols, which are the ingredients that give the vegetables and fruit their colors and flavor. So the reason why a grape is purple or green and apple is red or yellow or whatever. So if we only look at those, we learn that they have quite an impressive list of benefits. And as a result, I think there is no way out from eating them.
So it's starting to sound pretty good, but is there even something more?
Oh, of course there is. Let's take a second example, fiber. Like before starting to search this topic, my understanding of fiber was very simple. Like I knew it should be eaten, but I did not understand why. Some plants are super fiber rich, like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, carrot, spinach, apples, pears, plums, cherries, and bananas, which actually are very interesting. In which color do we eat them nowadays?
Green.
Green. There's always green bananas in the shopping list. So it's very interesting. Like when they're green, they're rich in fiber but low in sugar. So that's why they're awesome food and great to use in smoothies and whatever. And fiber is also a very diverse player. It plays with our digestion, it makes us chew the food for longer, makes us feel fuller, faster, and gives the body an impression that we ate a big meal.
Okay, so now I'm gonna drop the classic question. What are we eating today?
No. How many times have you asked me that? Or have I asked myself or you that? Yeah, it's super hard to plan, cook, and prepare good, real food when tired or busy. And one of the things I feel like is important is thinking about it as a planning health, not just planning food thingies. Very often, cooking feels like an obligation, but I would want to see cooking as a part of life, something that could be done peacefully, focusing only on that one thing, maybe listening to an audiobook or good music or something that's nice, that's enjoyable.
One thing I've been thinking about is the price of the food. Because the truth is that it's usually a little bit more expensive if you start to buy real food.
Yeah, and it seems so weird that the processed food is cheap and the real food and the whole foods plants and such are more expensive. It doesn't make any sense. But one thing that helps to tackle it is the idea of seasonal thinking. So for example, here in Finland, summer is amazing time. We get like so much produce for like 3 months, and the rest of the year is not that great. So, for example, a kilo of tomatoes could cost under €1 during the summer, and in the winter time, around 10 euros, probably, and if it's organic, even more. So, searching for those that are in season can remarkably reduce the price of the food. And of course, it's also a question of investment and the return on investment. And somehow it seems like a thing that we would want to prioritize over many other investments that we make.
Yeah, what about those days when you're super tired and you just want to order in? We do that too, right?
Yeah, I just did that last Saturday. Empty fridge and being tired is a deadly combo. And ordering food is also beneficial. In a way, you can support local businesses and such. But unfortunately, there don't seem to be that many options available at the moment. At least what we've noticed. The kind of options that would actually do good to us. And that seems like a problem. One thing that could help to tackle this is to think big. Like when cooking with almost the same amount of energy, you can cook double the portion. So making like a huge soup, then freezing it or storing it in the fridge for a few days helps enormously. You can just open the fridge, pick up the soup, and also bear with the fact that when we're tired and stressed, it plays with our hormones. That's why our body thinks that we're starving and gives us a message that actually a burger is exactly the thing I need at the moment. Okay, so now that we understand that different vegetables and fruit, different plants have different types of beneficial properties, so it is obvious that we should try and eat as a wide variety as possible and as much as possible. So some suggestions say that eat 25 different veggies a week and whatever. That we've kind of tried, and that has felt a little hard to accomplish. Not that we would have even remembered to count, you know? But anyways, so what do you say if we would start testing with 10? 10 different vegetables and fruit in season next week. Are you in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so are you in? Let's try it. Let's see what happens. If you find something awesome, tell us. And tell us what you cooked. And we can all try. Even though this one slice seems clear, there are still others that seem harder to understand and that we're searching on. For example, proteins.
Yeah, what's the best source? And
Yeah,
where we get it?
but the journey continues, right? See you next time.
Peace.
Yeah.
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 Let's go nuts.
Nutters.
Question. What do we have?